about 5 fears people have about marriage. 5 marriage fears. Why people are afraid of marriage? Why people don't like marriage? 5 fears. We're going to quickly run through this. The first fear is fear of finances. So if I'm alone, expenses only for me. If I get married, now expenses are double. Okay? And if one more boy or girl comes, then not in the sense children, yeah, then my children expenses increase. So ondia inda, okay, I'm alone, I can manage. Why should I have a son and daughter? Where is the money for me? Only there's no money. How can I run a family? Stop having that fear. God is your source. God is your provider. I have seen so many people not get married because they don't have money. You know why? Because they want to have a big fat Indian wedding. We need to break this concept of big fat Indian wedding. Okay? The only couple who look fit on the wedding is the couple, and after they get married, they become like us. Okay? But we are working on our health.
Yeah, we are working. We are taking things really seriously.
Yeah. In 3 months, I hope you'll see the change.
So yeah, fear of finances is one thing where it's not just about, how am I going to provide, how am I going to take care of another girl who comes and babies and all of that. But it's also the pressure that society puts on people to look and have the best and be the best and have a big wedding and do this and that and dowry and cars and houses, and you have to be the best international schools now. That's become a huge deal where kids have to be in an international school and things like that. So let's keep the main thing. We're forgetting that God is our source.
Are you guys, come on, connected with us? Are you guys receiving? If you're enjoying this, say something, say keep going, come on, awesome, or say it sucks or something. We want to know how you guys are receiving this. It's good to see encouragement. Thank you for being so honest, Pastor. Elroy, the God who sees me has seen me. Thank you, brother, for seeing me and understanding me. So if you're being blessed, let us know. We'd like to know. I know many of you are being blessed, so if you can share, let us know. So, see, I recently met a person, and that person told me, a friend of mine is going to get married, and you'll be shocked, listen to this, and he said he's planning to take 30 lakh loan to get married.
What?
Yeah. I met him 2 weeks back. 30 lakh loan to get married. Whoa, I'm like, what are you thinking? So he wants to have this big fat Indian wedding where you call thousands of people and, have the best cuisine and, lawn wedding and, destination wedding. All these concepts. I want to tell you, if you have the money, please do it. If you don't have the money, give coffee, snacks and send them home.
Please.
Yeah. You don't need to take loan and impress 1,000 people on your wedding day.
Who will not even look at you after that. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, this is serious stuff.
And half the people there will say, uppu pattala, adu pattala.
Yeah. What matters is the union, is family. If you both are there and your family is there, that's it.
Yeah. So imagine taking a 30 lakh loan and then you're going to pay the next 30 years. Are you going to sit and work on your marriage and love your spouse and, enjoy your children? Or are you going to sit and pay the loan of whom are you trying to impress?
And now this has become a funny, especially in India, this has always been tradition where it's like the family is so pressured. So if they have to get the girl married or the boy married, they end up taking the loan and the parents end up paying it for the rest of their lives, which is ridiculous.
Never take a loan. First point, okay?
Yeah.
We teach in our church, if you're new to our church, we say no loan life. That is car loan, house loan, marriage loan, education loan, any loan you're not supposed to take. That's not godly, okay? So don't think about loan at all. Believe God, invest money, grow your money, take risk and buy things, but never get into loan. That is a principle that we follow from even before I was married, we followed that principle. After we got married, we had a very good wedding, a very decent one. And, all the boys come in cars, right? They come in Rolls Royce, they come in Benz and BMW. And somebody asked me, Pastor, which car you're coming in your wedding? I told, I'm coming in my friend's car named Thomas, who's actually watching right now. And I told Thomas, bro, I'm going to get married. Can you drop me? So that was how I finally told him. and can you drop me to my wedding? And we just put few roses on his car, which was a silver Jazz Indian car. Indian or Honda is what? Japan, huh? It's a normal car, right? Honda Jazz is a normal car. It's not a premium car. I walked into my wedding like I am the, bridegroom with all.
Not like you are. You were the bridegroom.
I am the bridegroom, spotlight on me. And I was not defined by the car that I am coming in, because I am more important than the car.
Yeah, this is value, right? People are valuable, not what you own or have or what you'd like to show. So don't fall for that pressure.
So if you have the money to come in Rolls Royce, please don't be a, what is that? KP.
It's okay. Don't be stingy, yeah?
Yeah, don't be stingy. So that's why you need to get married, right?
Yeah.
Your wife will stop you when you, calm down, okay. So don't be this conjuice guy, who says, okay, there was one guy who said, maga kasila maga, okay, and he pays for the bill, and he pays for the movie ticket, maga kasila maga, and hey, paragila baro, and he pays, and finally he'll be talking to his girlfriend and says, baby, how much money you want? 10,000, right now I'm sending. So don't be like that. You have a lot of money, but you don't spend. That's another extreme conjuice guy. At this extreme is people who want to show off, who have their identity fixed on money and things. No, if you have the money, save, plan, do it well. I'm not saying have a curd rice wedding, have a nice wedding. But if you have the money, do it. Never take a loan, okay? So don't have fear of finances. From the day we got married till today and forever, we have never borrowed 1 rupee from our parents, even though our parents are blessed financially. We never asked them even 1 rupee. When my son was born, I didn't borrow 1 rupee from anyone. We spent lakhs of money in the hospital. So we planned things, we prepared for things, and we purchased things, and we are content. If we can't buy something, we are content.
Yeah, see, this is something very important you have to understand. We have what we need, and we have a little more. But what you have to understand is, when you're running short, don't become afraid. Money is not what defines you. Yeah. Like sometimes I look at my bank balance and I'm like, I feel like that, but then God will be like, we have to remind ourselves, God is our source. If the need arises, this is something Bernard has taught me, and we as a couple, we practice in our marriage, is that when the need arises, He will provide. He's faithful. Yeah, He's faithful. You need to know that. So when it comes to finances and planning your wedding, or if you're afraid of that, talk to God about it. Ask Him to show you what He really has in mind for you, the wedding He has in mind for you, or ask Him to reassure you of the plans He has for you. Remember, He has plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Having said that, this is a fear of getting married, but also know that when we say finances, you're scared that you won't be able to provide. In that place, there's only one thing I would like to say is, yes, you need to be financially stable to sustain a family, right? Yeah. We're not asking you to be like super rich, but you need to be faithful in a job and earning a decent income so that you can sustain a family and have a kid, okay?
So, when the wife says, husband, there's no money, there's no diaper, can you go back and come? And husband can't keep saying, I don't have money. No, you ask God, why are you asking me? No, she has to ask you. You have to provide. So, put the pressure on God. Husbands, men, don't take the pressure on yourself. Put the pressure on God. Work hard. Be excellent. Try to work 2-3 jobs. All that is okay. And provide for your family. The Bible says, you are worse than an unbeliever if you don't provide for your family. So, provide.
So, there is a balance. Everything in kingdom is paradox, right? There is a balance in everything. We are saying don't be afraid of finances. And in the sense of, that, oh my God, what am I going to do? It's going to be a burden. It's not going to be a burden. You do what you need to do. Yeah. You do you, and God will do what He has to do.
Amen. The next fear, okay? So, fear of finances. The next fear is fear of losing freedom. Jaliya irukku ipo kalyanam pannita avladha. I have to be under my wife, or wife has to be under me. So fear of losing freedom is, a very stupid reason not to get married. There are things that will change after you get married. You can't relate with everyone the way you were relating. You don't have time for other things. Every relationship, changes priority because now your spouse has to become priority. Those things are there, but you're not losing freedom. You are enjoying.
You're growing into new roles.
Yeah.
Right? So, for example, let's take Bernard. Before he got married, he was a boy. Then he became a man. So as soon as he was born, he was a son to his parents and a brother to his brother. Right? So he has these roles. He's a brother. He's a son.
Pastor.
He's a boy. He's a pastor. Right? But it's only when he gets married that he has the opportunity to become a husband, to grow into the role of a husband, to grow into the role of a father, and then later to grow into the role of a father-in-law, and then a grandfather, right? So these things happen only in marriage. It gives you relationships. It gives you, it multiplies your joy. People multiply joy, right?
Yeah.
So if one person chooses not to get married, there is something that stops there, right? There's something that stops. So we need to think about that. So when you get married, if you are afraid to get married because you feel like, oh, I'll lose freedom, especially for boys these days, right? They are so afraid of getting married that they'll be like, oh no, everybody calls their bike as wives, it makes me so angry. How can you reduce a living person to a bike? I say, oh, my wife, my beautiful wife, my bike. It makes me very angry. But yeah, they're still small boys. They need to grow up and become men. So you don't have all that time, but you get to grow into new roles. So don't be afraid of losing freedom, right? Oh, now anytime you look at a boy and you say, oh, I can go to the movies, I can go out with my friends whenever I want. Now, if I get married, I have to spend time with my wife. I have to spend time with my kids and things like that. A relationship is a relationship. Think about it. If you had friends, you are spending quantity time with your friends, right? You are intentionally making time for your friends. You want to be with them. You want to go out with them. You want to spend time with them. And a wife is just like that. Marriage is just like that. This goes, both ways. Even for a girl, when you have a husband, how you would treat all the other relationships. It's a privilege for you to be married, to have a husband, to have a wife. Yeah. Just as how a friend is important, and you make time for friends, you make time for that relationship. A spouse is important. You make time for that, right?
Yeah. So you're not losing freedom. You're gaining more. You're gaining relationships.
You're gaining relationships, right? You're gaining more love because of more people.
So the next fear people have is fear of commitment. We live in a generation where people don't like this word commitment. They don't like to sign an agreement. They don't like to sign a paper. They don't like to, we have this concept of live-in relationship, right? Where people, they live together, they take an apartment, they stay, and they sleep around, they have sex, and, they have their fun. And when they get bored of each other, they just part their ways. Mutual understanding, Amma. That's completely demonic, You are living the will of the devil right there and hurting each other so much that you have no idea about. And we think all these things are common and this is how the age is, No, we need to take a strong stand against these things and guard our purity, guard our things, and be committed people. So, if you're not a committed person, don't think about marriage. Build your commitment levels and grow in maturity, obviously, and then
recognize that place is something you need to work on,
Yeah.
and ask the Lord for His help, because this is for everybody. This is a gift given to everybody, right? Something so special that we all can enjoy. So when it says commitment, see, when I got, especially for, I'm not being very prejudiced against men or anything like that.
No.
I'm just saying, when I got married, before I got married, I had all the time in the world, like to do whatever I want and go wherever I want, sleep whenever I want, wake up whenever I want. But then I got married. And then I had to take care of Bernard. I had to wake up, I had to cook for him and cook for all of us. I was not a kid anymore. My mom wouldn't cook for me. Now I am the lady of the house, right? I need to do these things. And then later I had a baby. And when the baby came, everything changed all the more. Now every 10 minutes, and then even today, like even last night, every 10 minutes I have to wake up, because Happy sleeps like a clock. You know, he's after 10 minutes his head will be there, and he has this tendency of moving around a lot. So once he fell off the bed like that, so I have to be like really careful. So every 10 minutes I'm waking up and checking where he is on the bed.
He goes like this.
And trying to, you know, align him back. And he will be kicking sometimes under Bernard, and Bernard will not move. Okay? He will not move. He will not move an inch to take Happy and place him beside. I have to get up out of the fear that what if he rolls over Happy? So I have to get up and, you know, try to, you know, adjust him back and put him back to sleep. So all of these commitments are there, but there is so much joy in all of this. So much joy, because I'm getting to be a mom. I'm getting to raise the next generation. I'll tell you, I think 60% of my day goes in just looking at Happy and saying, wow, my son is so cute, my son is so beautiful, my son is so smart. I'm just in awe of how wonderfully God has created him, and you know, it's a treasure given to me to cherish, and this is my life's one of my life's biggest purposes, is to raise this little boy to be a good husband, to be a good father, to be a good human being.
Awesome.
So commitment is not a bad thing. Commitment shows that you value something. So in a job, when you're in a job and you're committed to that job, it shows that you value that job. When you're in a relationship and you are committed to that relationship, I'm not just talking about marriage. You can talk about friendship, and you're committed to your friendship. You're committed to your workplace. You're committed to your husband. You're committed to your parents. Commitment shows the other person that there's value. It's not a burden. It's not a burden. It's value.
Yeah. The next fear is fear of intimacy. Okay. Intimacy is basically into me you see. Okay. So you go deeper and look. You know, people are afraid of sex. That's why they don't get married. Hey, how can I show my nakedness? You know, how can, you know, my appearance? If I get married, my husband will look at me and know that, you know, I have so many scars and flaws, and, you know, in my back I have, you know, some part of my body that looks so ugly. This is another major fear.
Yeah.
So you need to break that fear and know that the Bible says in Genesis 2:25, they both were naked and they were not ashamed. That is the only relationship you can experience that is in marriage.
Yeah.
They were naked and they were not ashamed. And I want to tell you, you know, don't be afraid of intimacy. Don't be afraid of sex. Don't be afraid of, you know, Pastor, in the night when I'm sleeping, I snore. Some movie also is there, right? Good night or something. Good morning.
Good night.
You know, I have snoring problem. She has been bearing with my snoring problem for years, and she's gotten used to it. I think you can share the first time we got married.
So after we got married, when we went on our honeymoon, I could not sleep for 4 days. He was snoring, and I'm like, what am I going to do? See, the funny thing is, my dad snores like a lion, okay? So I never used to sleep in the same, initially when we were kids, I guess it never bothered me.
How do I snore?
Like my dad, yeah.
Which is a
lion.
Yeah, go.
He wants me to say it. Yeah, it snores like a lion, okay. So, my dad snores, and then as I started growing up, you become more aware of your surroundings, right? I could never sleep in the same bed with my dad, never sleep in the same room. Once my dad came and slept next to me in the afternoon, I hid under the pillow. I tried so hard to sleep because I didn't want him to feel bad, but then I had to get up and leave. But that was my dad. I could get up and leave, but here I can't get up and leave. No, there's no other choice. I have to live with this. I have to get used to it. So first 4 nights, I tried the pillow. I tried everything. And then when I get really exhausted, during like at the break of the day, when it's almost, you know, sunrise, that's when I'll fall asleep.
So it's fun. Now she's used to it. You'll get used to it. Yeah, don't worry. Pastor, I snore, I fart in the night. I leave Joel in the night. Everybody does that. It's normal. You have to be naked and not ashamed. Face the fear. It's okay. They will embrace you. They will accept you. And what if Pastor, they see a part of me and they don't like, then we journey into healing. Why, what's happening, all those things are there. But don't have the fear of intimacy. It is a wonderful thing that God,
gift, yeah.
Sex is God's gift that can only be experienced inside marriage.
To know and to be known. To know and to be known. And that sort of intimacy, that sort of freedom you receive, that you can receive only from your spouse. To be known and to be fully known with nothing between y'all. Right?
Yeah.
That is an intimacy, that this person is for me, I am for this person, that belongingness that God has for us, right? That God has for us, that you are mine and I am yours. That is the only, husband and wife relationship is the only relationship that can translate between what God has and what we have.
Yeah. And the fifth final fear is the fear of failure. People who fail in marriage, people are hurt in marriage, people have bad experiences and abuse, and now you look at them and say, you saw that guy, he was all fine until he got married. Yeah. See how he became a drunkard now. He was a very good boy, pastor. After he got married to this girl, he became a drunkard, a smoker, and now he wants to commit suicide. No, it's not because of the girl. You can't sit and blame the girl or blame the boy. It is you are not working things out in your heart when you're doing one another, when you're getting close, when intimacy is happening, things are coming out, which is a wonderful opportunity
to address those things.
Yeah, address, heal, and deal with it. So that becomes a story, a testimony that you take ownership of your mess right now, and mess is not owning you. So don't have fear of failure. We have a wonderful marriage. Yes, we have difficulty. Yes, we fight. All those things are there, but we want to encourage you that God can bless you. Some people have better marriages than us.
Yeah.
Some people do life so wonderfully. In our church, there are people who have wonderful marriages. Yes, there are people who have marriages that are struggling too. So don't look at only the negative side of marriage. Oh, the divorce is happening, abuse is happening, rape is happening. No, there is beauty in marriage.
Yes.
And I know majority of them struggle, but at the end of the day, it's a godly thing and there is beauty in it. So don't be afraid to get married. So by all these fears and points, I believe you understand that it is important for you to get married.
Yeah. And see, when it comes to fear of failure, you've had so many friendships, right? And friendships hurt. There is betrayal, there is hurt, there is misunderstanding. But does that keep you from making friends again? No, right? You never give up on friendship. So why would you want to give up on marriage? Yeah. Why would you want to give up on a beautiful relationship that God has created for you? And see, when in any relationship, right, we as people have emotions. So in every relationship, there is a part of us that comes out that we thought that never could come out, right? Yeah. So this is what our mentors say, Jesso and Anaka, they keep saying this. So when something comes out like that, they'll say, wow, that's interesting, how I reacted. And once we were sharing an argument we had or a fight that we had, and they're looking back and they're sitting so casually saying, yeah, when something like this happened, you should just look at it and say, that's interesting that I did that. It's interesting that my mind thinks like that. But I don't find it interesting when my husband does that. Neither does he find it interesting. But the essence of it is this. We are human beings and we have feelings, we have needs, and these things bring out certain emotions and feelings in us. So may we all have the grace to sit back and think, it's interesting that I did that. Why did I do what I did? Yeah. And try to address these things. When you address these things, you learn more about yourself and you grow.